Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show. We're actually planning on doing some jockey stick work, maybe with or without the butt rope, and the full harness is on, or at least half the harness is on, with the XCheck reins. But you know, I was just watching a Craig Cameron show about colt breaking, and I loved what he was doing to desensitize his colt to the feelings of straps and ropes at the bottom of the back legs, where this particular colt was very, very sensitive. I'm just going to show you what we will be doing. I'm not going to do it today. It's cold and windy, about to rain, but I'm going to show you the technique. We have a flat saddle on. You could just as well use a surcingle. My two 22-foot yacht rope lines are connected to the Monty Roberts dually halter on the ring under the chin, and each 22-foot line is through the stirrup so we can keep it up out from the ground. Now watch what happens. Sadie just did it. This is my youngster. She hates to be touched on her back legs. I'm going to see what happens here. She's allowing it now, but we accidentally touched it. Yeah, while we were setting this up, and she lifted that back right leg and almost stepped over it. And that's what's so dangerous. That's what's so wreck-prone when you're working with ground driving for pulling. Now she's already getting a little bit nervous. Now what I'm going to do, not today, but another day, or Katie will, we're going to use these 22-foot lines to actually lunge Sadie here in the arena, and maybe then again out in the pasture, where we stand in the middle, and she moves around us. It's a lunging activity, but we do it with two lines. And then we allow the lines, as she gets desensitized to the ropes, to come further down her leg, so she feels them when she's in motion. That simulates what could happen when she's pulling and driving, especially with another horse next to her in pairs and with XCheck reins. So we just set this up so you'd see how we're going to do it in the future. It would actually be a little bit dangerous to do it right now because of the weather and because my legs are a little bit painful today. I moved a rubber mat last night. I shouldn't have moved. So I won't be able to move as fast as I might want to move to react properly to the wrong answer if I got it from Sadie. But you've got an idea now. We're going to do a lot of this, probably off camera, maybe show you on camera eventually. I'm just going to touch her again now on the left rear. She's being good. She's being good. But boy, could she lift that back leg or one or the other very quickly, end up over the lines, and then what happens? Well, the line is touching them on the inside of the rear back leg. And that of the rear leg, that is what is really quite often very spooky to horses. So we're going to turn off the camera for now. We're going to take off the saddle, and I'm going to show you another exercise that Craig Cameron was using on his colt. We now have the saddle off. We still have the Monty Roberts dually halter on. I have one 22-foot line, yacht rope lead line. Angela still has the 12-foot yacht rope lead line here on the side ring of the Monty Roberts. It gives you a lot more control to have the line on the side ring because there's a double-stranded nylon rope here, kind of like a rope halter. Even though this is a flat web halter, for training purpose, you get to use the pressure across the nose of a simulated rope halter. Now I'm going to try to remember what I just saw Craig Cameron do. Then I'm going to review it, because I have it still recorded. I'm going to show it to Angela and Katie when she gets back in town. And we're going to do a whole lot of this with Sadie, because although she's not a colt or a filly that we're first time breaking, she does some things with her back legs when she feels those ropes around her back legs that really make me worry about potential wrecks. So here's what he did, I recall. And I'll double check this and correct myself next time we film these. exercises. He connected to under the chin. He took the 22-foot line, and first tested out the horse to see how sensitive the horse was going to be. It's all right. It's all right. Around the barrel, because this horse had not really been ridden. I don't know if it had ever had a saddle on. So he did a lot of this. There, look, she's even feeling it. She's lifting her back legs. Can my cameraman try to zoom in on that? That's the thing that's so dangerous when you've got harnesses on and you're trying to drive with all kinds of ropes and leather straps and so forth. Yeah, look at that. She's looking at me. She's saying, what's making that feeling across my barrel? Now, what was amazing to me was that Craig Cameron, for this exercise, didn't even have a helper at the head like I do. He controlled both the head and the rope, and then he allowed it to move down the barrel. And the horse, as the rope started heading for the back of the back and down the legs, I'm not even going to try it today because I am worried she will start spooking. Look at her, look at me, watch body language, read your horse. See, as I get back here, it's almost like a bucking cinch back here, but she's had back cinches on saddle, so she's not spooking yet. But she's wondering what I'm doing back here, why she's feeling pressure back here. And then what he did, what Craig Cameron did while holding on to the halter as well, he allowed the whole, there you go, see what she's doing? Oh, she's trying to get rid of that feeling. She's lifting both back legs. He allowed this line to fall off the hip, and then the horse felt the line in front of their back legs. And the horse went crazy many times, just started making circles, small circles, and throwing its head, and was really upset. And Craig Cameron was able to hold on to the halter lead and allow the horse to get past his spooky behavior. And then as soon as the horse did, well, he removed the rope. He let it fall down. So the horse said, oh, the way I get rid of that horrible feeling that's spooking me is I just stop spooking. That is the natural horsemanship way to train a horse, especially a spooking horse. Take the pressure away when the right answer is given. Now, just for a little bit more answer today, I'm working my way back again. There she goes, up again, swishing her tail, back leg up. And I'm sure that if I allowed this rope to fall over her hip and then allow the loop to touch the front of her legs as well as the back of her legs, that she's going to go bananas. So we're not going to do that today. We're just showing you what we're going to do on and off camera before we go back to doing cross-check lines with jockey stick, pairs driving. It's probably, I'd say, next to roping, one of the most challenging horse tasks I have ever tried to accomplish. But that's my way. I like to decide what I want to do to use my horses for ranch horse versatility and farming. I learn what I can by the tack that I need and try it. And I show you while I'm doing it on the Urban Cowgirl Show. We next worked with Sadie's mom, Eve, on the rope strap desensitization exercises because we anticipated that Eve would not spook from the straps touching her lower legs. We used a vaulting surcingle to hold the long yacht rope lines high at the ribs. A short session today with Eve, Sadie's mom, in the square pen because it's very windy outside, about to rain. We don't want to confound spookiness of the straps and ropes on the back legs with anything else that may be happening with the wind and impending rain. And I really don't expect to have trouble with Eve. But my cameraman's coming in here just to hold her halter. I'm going to do what I said I want to do with Sadie eventually, but I wasn't ready to do it right away. And we're doing it here in the square pen, which is a smaller space. It's always better to first work in a smaller space. I'm doing some sensitization work here with this 22-foot yacht rope line. I'm going to let it go back here. Her ears are back, but she's not showing any stress. I'm going to let it fall over her hips. And here's where we may have stress, for sure with Sadie, but I don't think with Eve. Do you think that they can see the back legs?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to hold this right here and show you how good she's standing with this rope on her back legs. Kyle's going to go make sure that you can see the back legs, because we only have a team of 2 today. Can you come, let's see, are the rails in the way when you go back there, Kyle?
Yeah, but you can see. They're
okay.
small enough. So.
All right, come on back. I kind of thought that would be easy, but you know, you got to know your horse. You got to be prepared for anything that might happen, just in case you misunderstood your horse. But look, watch Eve's back legs. She's not even lifting them like Sadie did yesterday when we were in the west half of my uncovered arena. Now I'm going to let this rope fall. I'm going to fish it through. It's touching the back of her hooves and her ankles. She says, no problem. But now I'm going to do a double yacht rope ring. Can you hold that? Drive lines with a vaulting surcingle. She's saying to me with her body language, I'm not spooked, Mom. Okay, can you hold this one? I don't think she'll spook at all at this vaulting surcingle. She's had it on many a time. It's all right, Evie. We've even vaulted off of her. It's all right. But, you know, it's been a while, so it's like putting a saddle on, but lightweight. It's all right, Eve. It's all right. It's all right, Eve. It's all right. She's being good. My legs are feeling better after I lifted those heavy mats, which I shouldn't have lifted. So I'm trying this, but I'm being cautious. I'm trying it with Eve because I don't expect any trouble from Eve. I'm ready just in case. But I don't think we'll have any trouble. When I do Sadie, I'm going to want a larger team here. Now this vaulting surcingle cinch should be almost as tight as the saddle. We don't want it falling. I'm going up a couple holes here. A couple more holes. There we go. It's pretty tight. And now, I'm going to do what I described. I want to do with Sadie, Eve's daughter. Notice I only have a rope halter on with Eve. I don't even feel it's necessary to use the Monty Roberts. I'm going through the handles of the vaulting surcingle to keep the long yacht rope above, not falling down at her hips. It's all right, Eve. It's all right. This is 22 foot of rope. It can get unwieldy. Got to know where it is. In case your horse spooks. Now I've got my arm extensions here ready to use if I need them. Let's walk around, Kyle. You walk just a circle.
Okay. Eve?
If Eve is fine on these ropes here.
G.
G means right. Good.
G.
Good. Keep moving.
Step up.
Step up.
Step up.
Good. She's a little confused. She feels ropes
G.
on the back of her legs. You know what, Kyle?
Yeah.
Let's release that lead line that you have and go and follow us with the camera. I think I'll be okay. I think so. We'll see. Based on how she's behaving right now, I just want to go around in both directions. That's a quick release, Kyle. You turn the...
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, just
Okay.
like
Now follow us with the camera. Be ready in case there's any trouble. Step out. Good. Good. See how it's touching her on her back leg? Good. Woo. Turn her. Go counterclockwise. Oh, she's thirsty. It's all right. Direct line. It's only rope halter pressure. Touching her back legs. Steady. Woo. Going in the back where I have better control. And that's all I wanted to show you. That's what we want to do with Sadie at various speeds. Whoop. Whoop. Good, good. Okay, she's anxious to go get her snack. The other two horses are eating. She's a good girl, and I'm glad because we've shown you our moment of resolution. Pairs driving. Well, why are we here in the covered square pen on top of a saddle? Because Dennis Reese did a show recently on RFD TV showing how he can convince two horses to stay abreast. Now, he says do it first from the ground, then go into the saddle. Well, we've done it from the ground, and it's a little bit tricky to do pairs driving. You need maybe a jockey stick, you cross-check reins, a lot of straps. I'd rather see if we can convince Sadie and her mom, Eve, to stay abreast from the saddle. And then maybe when we do it, when we're ground driving with our cross-check reins and our harnesses on, they'll understand what we're asking. So very briefly, we're not even in a saddle. What we are is in a vaulting surcingle. And here's the reason. In other shows, I've shown you a little bit about how we're trying to simulate a side saddle. And shortly, we're going to have Katie put her right leg over a holder on the left side of the horse, which is essentially some sort of side saddle. But right now, because we're trying to convince Sadie and Eve to stay abreast, we're just going to show you for a few minutes whether or not they understand our request. Dennis Reese used a arm extension.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the arm extension is mostly just to tap somewhere where they don't expect and you can't reach with your arm, and to provide visual blocks. He did a lot of that to explain to the horse what he wanted as far as follow me, go with me, or turn around and do head to tail. He was able to do that with visual blocks. Now let's see what we can do. This is almost prerequisite skill, and we're going to practice because we've got at least 4 days of rain this week coming up, and it's a good thing to do in the covered square pen. See, does Sadie understand that what she's got to do is stay head on head with Eve? And Eve is a faster walker.
Sadie is scaring Eve.
She's scaring you?
She's scaring Eve.
Oh, she's scaring Eve. We have had problems before. Sadie's Eve's daughter, but Sadie has gotten spooked before. Do you want somebody at the head?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, we do have just rope halters on, Eve and Sadie, and we have a bridle with a snaffle bit and kind of longish reins. They're yacht rope reins because when you're riding side saddle, it's recommended that you use longer reins than you normally would. I see almost a light in Sadie's eyes. She's kind of trying to figure it out. These are my Ranch Versatile Morgan horses who would much prefer to give us the right answer than to be afraid or reactive if they can just figure out what is the right answer. And if they do the wrong thing, can we apply pressure in such a way and remove the pressure at the right time to show them that that was the wrong thing, here's the right thing.
Oh,
Were you on purpose doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, because Dennis Reese did do that with his pair of horses.
over.
Over, good. See how she's using her arm extension?
Oh,
Now, Dennis Reese actually picked up a trot and a canter. We're not ready to do that yet. But he got the horses to gauge their speed by their position. So the inner horse had to go slower than the outer horse. And they understood that. They did quite well. And I have no idea how much repetition or how much time he practiced before he showed it to us on RFD TV at the beginning of April 2012. That's the first time I saw the show. Hey, it looks good, Katie.
yeah, now that Eve's on the outside, back.
Evie on the outside seems to help. Yeah, that's true because Evie's a faster walker too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good.
Oh,
Good. We don't think that Eve and Sadie would even threaten to kick or bite each other. There is a mother-daughter respect there, we think. Arm extension on the hip. Sadie is kind of swishing her tail. Watch the body language to see what they're actually feeling, thinking.
easy.
We really didn't know how good or bad we were going to be able to do this today. We didn't rehearse, as we never do. We always try to show you what you might encounter if you try to do it. Now you're using the block?
Tip up.
No, you wanted her to go with you? Yes, yes. Now, how does Sadie know not to go with? Was it a visual block? Is that what you used?
Yeah, and I've kind of been pulling on the reins. So,
Uh-huh,
or on her.
uh-huh.
I know,
And Dennis Reese had no line between his pair of horses.
Yeah.
We're not ready for that. Okay, Angela, take her back. Okay, Dennis, as a matter of fact, after a few minutes of watching, we said there's really no connection other than willingness between the two horses that he demonstrated with. Very nice. Oh, beautiful. I love it.
oh,
Nice.
up.
When Katie gives Angela the cue, she's going to go and get Eve, and then Katie's going to do in that simulated vaulting surcingle side saddle what I just showed her and told her about what I learned about side saddle riding. Yesterday I tried to do it, and I was doing it all wrong. I should have looked on Google first. But afterwards I went to Google, and there was a lot of information there.
easy.
And I haven't mentioned it in this show, but I do have a hip problem in my left hip. I'll probably be doing some surgery. So right now, riding astride like Katie is difficult for me. And after the surgery, I'm sure for months it will be difficult for me. So I'm considering getting a side
Oh.
saddle.
Back. Back. Back.
Yes, just a little bit of visual. I just walked a little bit towards her. Then she understood what Katie was trying to do.
Ooh,
She was asking for her back.
good girl.
That's it? Okay, Angela, will you go and get Sadie? Just take her back there where you were standing. And if you could turn to your right, and Kyle, can you zoom in on our simulated side saddle leg holder?
Oh. Oh.
So from the seated position, can Katie pull? Yes, pull her leg out. Is that comfortable?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, we just used a piece of ABS, covered it with some packing material. I used a couple of bungees. We'll make it better later. So Katie, if you could get off the saddle, and then as she's getting back on, I'm going to explain what I learned about mounting in a side saddle. Either you get a leg up, you buy a mechanical mount, or you do almost a vaulting exercise. So Katie's going to use the...
I tried it from the ground earlier.
Okay, use the stirrups
so.
that I added to the surcingle. Let me hold over here because it's almost like an English saddle. Okay.
That's your right foot that goes into the stirrup.
Yeah, you put the right foot in the stirrup. And scooch over like you were doing a vaulting exercise, and there you go. Okay.
It's difficult from the ground using your right leg.
Yeah, we're not used to it, right?
With a step up, it's easier.
Yeah, okay, with a step up, and we do have step up. So, okay, the important thing that I saw as Katie got up there is she didn't have to lift her leg to get over or even to get it onto this holder for her right leg. And right now, and maybe for months, maybe forever, we'll see after I probably will be having a left hip replacement. It's very hard for me to lift the leg and to put a lot of weight in my left leg. So I'm hoping that with some practice, see that I added some stirrups with some nylon straps, inexpensive but useful. This is just a vaulting surcingle. We added the blanket so that you're not sitting directly on the back and not having to deal with all of the hair because it is spring and they are starting to shed. And tell me, now if you move out with her, can you move out with her? Remember that in vaulting, you need to get the balance with your pockets, your hips, so that you're not vaulting inadvertently falling off the left side of her. Can you feel it? Yeah, can you feel how you need to find a different center of balance, so to speak?
Yeah, it is. And in a sense, you can use
your leg.
Back leg back to get her to turn.
Yes. Now I did see one article, oh nice, I did see one article that said carry a crop, because if you do have to give a message on the right side, remember your leg isn't there to give that message. Of course, if you're doing cow work, carrying a crop is not advisable. And I didn't find one thing on Google that showed you how to use a side saddle for cow work, so maybe nobody has ever done it. If I have a chance, I'm going to try to do it, and I'll show you if and when I do. And that's all for today. Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl. See more at www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.